I think we're live. Yes. خلينا نفرج الفيوت sharing نتكلم الأخبار مثلا تمرين. Glad you guys are here. Almost full house. We did the table last week and we struggled through it. And we were discussing that we probably need a nice reference so we don't have to go struggle through it every single time. But hopefully this will come at some point, or we're actually doing it. We're doing it right, and this becomes our reference in the future. Until then, we do have 3 words left where we would do it the same way. How about every person takes one? So Ben, do love, David, do choose, and Randy, do drank. And I will be filling these with the actual verb for reference. Sounds good? And just same style as last time.
Sounds good.
If anyone is looking, I see question marks. We can look them up together before we start if you want. So for Ben, I think for May we have Minre. And for Randy, I think. Do you want me to look it up for you or you're good?
I mean, I'm looking it up as I work through this, so I'm gonna definitely go back to it, but I'm just filling in what I know right now.
Okay. Sounds good. And then
Do Not sure about the last form for love. In the far right column, it's off men rep. You know what I mean? But
I think it's right. Yeah. Love.
I'm just looking for the
What's here?
the
Yeah.
one with a different vowel ending.
Mendra.
Okay, that's before a noun. Okay, great, thanks.
Is everyone done?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. All right. What was the first? Then just walk us through, discuss what the form and the suffix.
Sure. So for the first one, I loved it. I have Offman Reet. And there's no suffix for the first person singular. You just use the pre-pronominal form of this. And then there's Offman Reetik for you masculine singular loved, and then Offman Reti, and I wasn't for you feminine singular loved, but I'm not sure about the orthography if it should just be ti or tau iota, or if you are supposed to use the digraph there. I like how the digraph looks, but I wasn't sure if.
Yeah, if it's a native Coptic word, I would go with the digraph.
Okay, great. Solve that problem. Mark, do you agree with that too?
Sounds good to me. Already sounds right.
Okay, thanks guys. And then for he loved, it's Offman Retif, and then she loved Offman Retis. And these are just the Offman Reets. So these are just the endings that we're familiar with. And then for we, it's Offman Reeten. And I wasn't sure if we should include the epsilon there or if it should just be like that. I'm guessing because it ends in a consonant to include the epsilon, but
Yeah, I've
Mo-
seen at least the sources, the citations I've seen, like in Crumb, for example, scribes tend to put the epsilon before the pronoun if it's one of the Vilnior things, so like R, N, M. Those, from what I've seen, they usually have the epsilon before them, but not always.
got it. So that's why it doesn't do that with these stops. It's just tick or like tuf. Okay, great. That's good to remember that.
Good to know.
And then Othman Reed Toten has a long omega there, and then Othman Ritu, and the last one is for the man loved. Othman with the man as the subject. It's Othman Re Piromi, so it has a different form before a noun.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks.
David, next.
All right. Give me 1 second. So for he chose me, I had afsapt. For he chose you masculine, I had afsapt. And for the feminine of that, I had afsapti. For he, I have afsapt. For she, I have afsapt. For we or for us, I have afsapten. And for you all or you guys, I had afsaptoten. And then for they, I had afsaptu. And for if I wanted to say to the band, it'd be afsept pidromi, I believe.
Wow, so it really changes between the options.
I'm about to post it in the chat, but going to our earlier chat, I did actually find that in the So You Want to Learn Coptic book, there's an appendix 4, that talks all about all the different endings.
Can you drop it in references here?
Yeah, I can do that.
That'd be great. Thank you.
It's a PDF, so
Oh, it doesn't have a link online somewhere?
maybe I might have to find it.
Okay, worst case, I can put on my drive and then just link the link.
Okay.
Yeah, awesome, thank you. And Randy.
Yeah. I have some questions about Ben and David, some of their forms, but I guess I'll just do mine first, and then
No, you can go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So for the y'all forms, like the Afmenri Toten, Toten, I think I've asked about this before, but I'm not sure like how many verbs actually have those y'all forms tested. That's why I'm always unsure about them. Like I always just go for the pre-pronominal and then tenu after.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have much like Mark? Do you know much about those the y'all forms, like other than tenu, like the ones that actually are conjugated? Because I don't know much about those.
Not more than you do. I mean, we were able to figure out last time that if you're ending with an O, it becomes yoken. But every time we have a consonant, we actually went with tenu. They're just like by looking at what we studied, which tells us this is likely more correct. But unless we check the PDF that David sent, and it has the references, I actually don't know. They always confuse me.
Okay.
So probably go the tenu.
Yeah, because I mean I know there's some forms that do have a like either verbs or verboids, like like pijai, pijaf example. For example, like I know there's like a pijaten or something I think exists, like for like y'all said. But for most verbs, I tend to see like tenu or for Saitic, Douten. That's why I like these these y'all forms are like so rare to me when I actually see them that I'm always curious about like, you know, what the source is or if they're a
Yeah.
test.
No, agreed.
So
Yes, here.
I just briefly looked at it for the second person plural according to the So You Want to Learn Coptic book. Tenu is, let's see, your safest option universally. And then it says you can alternately add the oten to however the verbs ending in a vowel. You can still use tenu, but you can also alternately use oten.
Okay.
I might have to ask Aurelia
so in
about.
that case, I believe my form would be wrong. It should be so af saptoten would be af saptenu.
I might have to ask Aurelio about this in the late Egyptian class, but there's a he would know better, but there's a two form for a lot of late Egyptian pronouns that there these new pronouns that have two show up, and it might have been pronounced more like tiu or teu, and that ends up essentially becoming another form of the pronouns that I think goes into Coptic eventually. And I'm not sure, but it looks like the tenu is sort of a holdover of that two plus normal pronoun ending. So, or two or two. They just wrote it as two, but like it probably was pronounced differently.
You? Is that what you're talking about?
Like in it might be in Demotic too, but in late Egyptian there's a epsilon that's a two ending with spelled TW transliteration.
Right.
And the regular pronoun endings for Egyptian get added on the end. And I think some of those survive into Coptic, but only in certain forms, like maybe the second person plural, the tenu ending.
Yeah, so I was just curious about that, and then also for David's forms, for chose, I know like the PT form, like the metathesis where the T and the P switch places. That does happen not infrequently, but it's not the standard form. It would usually be TP instead of PT.
For my form of SOT, I just looked it up on the Remen Chemi.
Oh,
it's the only one. It's the only one This is the only one I was able to find. Wiktionary does not have an entry for SOT.
for SOT, let's see. So for the pre-suffix, yes, SAT. I see what you're looking at. SAT. SAT. It does. I mean, it does also show SOT. So with the T before the P and the Omicron instead of the alpha.
Mm-hmm. Sweet.
That's kind of interesting how those two consonants just switch places sometimes.
Yeah. I think it's something to do with like, the way the mouth pronounces it. Like sometimes if the speaker was trying to pronounce "supt," like probably a lot of the times, like based on the position in the mouth, like the P would come before the T sometimes, and then that's how they spell it.
You can see that, or maybe it just one of the forms was easier to say when you were speaking quickly, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, this is I'm reading the appendix. It's really delightful.
Do any of you guys know who wrote So You Want to Learn Coptic? Or I actually mostly just because I don't know how reliable it is in terms of the source. It is pretty exhaustive, but I don't know.
Is this like Sameh Yunan guy? I think it's like Sameh Yunan. Yeah. The book is popular enough.
Okay.
All right, this is a good reference to be honest. Like this part when we're stuck, and I'll probably take it out.
Appendix 4, yeah.
Yeah, so just a standalone because I will definitely need this. Until I guess once we start reading more, we'll get the hang of it. Like it will start making sense. Like you just know it. Okay, I'm glad we have it. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I guess I should just like actually read mine now. So this mine is kind of weird because drank, like using it with most of the pronominal forms is kind of weird. Like there might be attestations of things like he drank me or, he drank you or something, but I don't think it's common. So I just put down what I think would be correct based on intuition. So afsai for he drank me.
Yep.
Afsak for he drank you. Afsae for
So I'm reviewing from the appendix here. The soy is correct if it ends with an O, takes iota, so we're good.
Okay.
Second person feminine, if it ends with an O, there's no extra ending.
so just afsa.
Just
Afsa.
Yep.
Similar to Tayo.
Afsof, he drank him. Afsos, he drank her or he drank it. Afson, he drank us. Afsatenu, he drank you all.
So verbs ending with a vowel, though you can still add the construct form of tenu. You can alternatively add oten. It's like David said earlier. So we also, I think we did this with tuvo, right? Tuvo. So you can say afsot and does sound right. This would not be right. So if you're using, back to David. If you're going to be using the tenu, you actually take the pre-nominal form tenu as in like a verb. It becomes like a noun. So you would actually use the set form.
Right. Yeah, that is correct. Yeah.
So actually, for Randy, your sentence is the only one where if you put a slash, it is correct because both are correct according to the thing we just read. But back to Ben, min return will probably not be correct.
Great, thanks.
I'm not sure what my form should it be off Soten? I'm not sure.
Yeah, you just add, if it ends with a vowel, just add the oten. I think by vowel he means an O, because you can't say like kaoten.
I'll say
Right.
Of what?
Yeah, I don't think something like Afseoten.
Yeah. I think it's good. And Upseteno is also good. So we're good.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome.
Then Afsao
Mm-hmm.
and Afse Piromi.
Amazing. He drags them in. Cool.
Is it okay to underline those omegas, or should I make them plain text?
I like the underline. I like it. It tells me, look here. I'm okay with that.
Okay, I'll just apply it to all of them then.
We should probably link this appendix 4. So for us to look in the future. Let me grab the reference and then put it here.
Should we also for chose since there's an alternate form of that, or should we include both since it could also be sat and also sopt?
I mean, you can
just while we're
like
including extra forms. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would choose the soft with the omicron and the T before the P. I would designate that as like the first choice, but it's up to you, David.
I just while we're soft.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice that. What happened here? Oh yeah, just like easy to say.
I guess yeah, that's what usually happens. Like, but the Remen Chemi site still shows a sup as a form for Baharic.
Wow. Okay. Sup. Okay.
Were you saying that they had the same vowel, or it was an omicron? Or...
That reminds me of there's a word for it when people say ask instead of ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, it's a dialect thing.
I definitely didn't notice that. Let's do the proper way and then have the alternative. So if they are the same, let's do sad, and then keep this as a form for future. But let's keep the standard form. Unless it was just a standard to each other, but I think so.
We put it in parentheses, or we could do slash. Whatever.
So,
It's easier to read.
so okay. I don't think we should do it for all of them. Just the first one.
Okay.
And call it a day. Oh wait, there's like sad.
It's because the order changes. That's why I underlined that
Oh wow.
from the stem.
I completely did not know.
It looks like a scribal error, but apparently it's not. So
Wait, sapped. Okay.
So,
that's just what you guys originally had there. So
Oh, okay. Also, you could have also done so. Wow, this verb. Wow, this verb has so many choices. Ha, 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 ha.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Maybe
It's almost like a regular in some places too.
I don't know if any of you guys would know this, but the vowel being an ah or an alpha, is that related to the earlier form before the great vowel shift?
according to Christian, yes, the great vowel shift that happened like 1,000 years BC, where all the A's become O, which is why in other dialects you see Anok being Anok. But somehow, because we still have the A's, because it's followed by a vowel which protected the vowel from shifting to an O. I don't know what any of this means, but this is they just reciting what he said on a lecture before, and I found it interesting, even though I don't know what it actually means. I'm sure Randy knows more.
Yeah, it's basically they, you know, it would have been ah before ah, and then it's also based on the syllable structure too. So if it's like consonant vowel, and then two consonants versus consonant vowel and one, it's based on like if the syllable is open or closed. Which, I mean, I know what that means, but it's not so intuitive to me. I actually have to like visually see what the syllable looks like consonant vowel, consonant things like that. I mean, it's based on that too.
Is there also a phonology, like a phonological aspect of terms of where the sound is made in the mouth? Like aw and ah are both kind of like, I think, low vowels that are in the bottom central or something.
I think so, yeah. And then like there's certain verbs where it's always ah based on like what the consonant is that falls. So like verbs that end in I'm just gonna put it here real quick in the document. So like verbs like I'm trying to think of something that ends in hori. So like not onach, because that would end in a high. Something like I don't know, like I can't think of a verb in Bohairic right now that has like 3 letters and ends in hori. But like if you see like the pre-suffixal or the pre-nominal form, it would be like you would see like anything that has like a hori or a shy in the root. A lot of the times you see an ah before it, like an alpha instead of an omega for some reason. It's presumably something to do with the way the hori affects the vowel before it. But so there's things like that. So there's presumably some sort of a difference between alpha and omicron when they pronounce things.
I wonder if that can tell you a
just-
little bit. Oh, sorry, go ahead, David. I'm sorry.
I was supposed to say, just because I also noticed it, I mentioned Discord when I was briefly skimming through Romans 22, finding a new favorite word, karo, or at least karo, karoe, karoten, where it's you have the verb ko to put place and all the different meanings, and then I don't know if this is correct because I assume it's a type of reflexive verb, where the rho being from the word for mouth. So if I wanted to say I shut you all up, it would be, or I had shut you all up, it'd be I karoten, where I placed your guys' mouths. aside, essentially.
Yeah, and
And
it could also occur as like a noun too, although that tends to use like a third, so like a karof,
Mhm.
either karof by itself or like met karof is like silence, like because you can't just say ment karo or met karo by itself, like it still has to have the suffix after the karo,
Right.
but like even if you're not referring to a person, like met karof is just like the word for silence.
And I didn't mention it, but I don't know if anybody quite answered the question. Would you know if that row, if that's actually more so function as the old form of doing the possessive for nouns, where it's the possessive form of the word for mouth, like Rolf, Roy.
I think so. I don't think it's. I mean, that's just how it is. Like for mouth, I know it's still common to use it as a word, just meaning like his mouth, her mouth, my mouth, etc. Like it's probably not as common as saying like tata pro or tefta pro, but it's still used. But as far as why it's omega instead of omicron, I'm not sure.
That's really cool. So it's like the word for silent is to place in mouth, or meaning the speech is still in the mouth, from ko and like the put or set, and then the word for mouth, Roy.
Yeah. Then another interesting thing while we're on the subject about like karof, like the ka in it, like why is that? So like for example, that's pre-nominal, the ka. So like why is it ka like with an alpha instead of like ke with an epsilon? That's another example too of like,
because it comes before the noun mouth, right?
Yeah, but usually you would still expect it to be like epsilon, but there it's a alpha. But like why is it that way? I'm not sure.
Because there's also alternative form of ko and ro, ko and rof, ko and roten and such. So that's why I was a little curious, and maybe it being likeness of the sapt, where it's just a common enough thing that was used earlier, so it retained.
I know for those forms like ko and roy instead of karoy, there's certain forms where you have to use like in the first present especially, where you have to use the full form. You can't say like karoy. You'd have to say like ko and roy.
Okay.
And then for this sotip that I put here real quick in the document, I was just looking up in Crum, and just as far as like sat versus sot, like which one is maybe more preferable, like the order that he lists them in, I think are based on like frequency. So see here for sot, it's for all these so like for the first four dialects, and then for the sopt with the p before the t, that's only applying to the dialect immediately before it. So in this case, Fayumic, and then set, the prenominal, and then some other ones here, sat, prenominal again for Lycopolitan and or no, I'm sorry, only for Fayumic because it's only the one right before it. Then we see here sot with the t before the p for Saitic and Bohairic, and then supt, like you had it originally, David, with the p before the t for Fayumic. And then, which looks a little bit different than the way the Remen Chemisite, because the Remen Chemisite shows that sat with the PT can be for Saitic or Bohairic. So I'm not so sure if that's correct or not.
Sat.
Yeah.
So you can find a bug with him. Sat.
I mean, I could, but I'm not like so familiar with like the way he designed his site, so I'm reluctant to do it right now. Like unless I know for sure that I'm correct.
He got his data from, I think he mentions it at the bottom, another resource. This one, whatever this is. Yes, he got it from here. This person has already done all the work on Chrome, and he made it very nicely on his website. So it's not perfect. So if you find a problem, you can file a bug. I think if you search just the name on GitHub, you'll find it.
Okay.
Here we go. Yeah. And then you can just file a bug here. He always says, if you have a problem, please file a bug. Like, file an issue here, just write something.
On GitHub? Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, he like backs that I write file an issue instead of texting him.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, if you find any problem, he's more than happy to do it, especially if you file a bug. He loves people filing bugs. It's not a lot of people do.
Okay.
All right.
That's good to know.
Okay. Let's keep going. So we have more simple things to translate. I made this statement up here. What am I missing?
Can be used for simple past and future only.
Anything else? Can we use it for imperfect? I just want to make a list because I was about to write it here, and then I realized, oh wait, no, it's not. You can just use it all the time. There's a few times, and derivative and non-derivative doesn't mean nothing to me, so I want to be precise to myself.
Yeah. Like I know the times where you have to use the full form is if that's what you're asking.
Yes.
The times where you have to use the full form is like first present, and then like the imperfect. So like nice sotum. Like you couldn't say I don't think you could say like you couldn't say nai like if you want to say like he was hearing it, you couldn't say nai sotmith. You'd have to say nice sotum amoth.
So which one is the exception? Do we have limited number for that must use the full form, or we have a limited number that can use both forms? So can I say share romi stotmek?
Yes.
Okay, so the full form, so the must be used for simple present. Well, it's only one present. It's present. Well, second present and imperfect.
Yes.
And imperfect. Okay, good to know. So this is the exception. Only, so let's say only full form must be used. Only for form can be used. Wait. Yeah,
And
yeah. English makes sense.
First
Even without
present or
even without there's exceptions, because there's certain like compound verbs that like start with like I don't know, like ura, or anything that's a compound verb with I think can be an exception, or anything with d can be an exception, like karpos or something, like to bear fruit. Like I think that can be an exception.
Oh, this is like a compound verb. Like no, talking like sotim. Like it's just for us when we're doing the exercises. Like okay, present. All right, this is the only form I can go and just do it.
Yeah. There is a verb though. Wash is an exception, especially like you could say like de-wash. Like if you want to say like I want it, you don't have to say like de-wash him off. You could say de-wash if that is allowed.
Okay.
That's the big one. That's like an exception.
Except the exceptions.
I'm just trying to remember, is there there's only one form of the present? So there's not like a first present, second present?
It's like share, but this is like a simple present is what we know as simple present. Like
okay.
Then we have share.
There's only one imperfect, so I just wanted to specify which ones, since there's so many variants of the verb tenses and forms.
Thank you. Made it simple. Okay, I did the first two. Let's back to our order. So Ben, next two, and give all forms.
Okay. Let's see. So we're on A.
We're on DC.
DC. Okay. Thank you. Okay. He will honor the prophet. Okay.
Everyone will do two, so in case you want to get yours ready. Actually, you can also write yours at the same time. These are simple enough that we don't have reasons.
Okay.
So everyone just do two.
Okay, sounds good.
And if anyone has questions, I don't can quick way through them.
Sounds
So David do E and F, and then Randy do G and H, and I will do I.
Okay.
Yeah, I also want to point out when I was copying this in, it said use Wosh for love, and
Yes.
I had the S there, and I didn't know if that was a purely Sahidic thing or just a universe.
I'm not sure.
I said here desire love. It's just desire. I desire. It feel like I desire you. I think it's
I associate Wosh with wish, desire,
Here we
not
go.
necessarily love.
Here we go. We can do whatever we want. And let's actually use it everywhere.
Okay.
And I kept it here in case we need it. Alright, your prophet, I'm doing I. You desire. Okay, when you're done, say you're done. I'm done. C, Ben, C, and D. And we will end today with this.
All right, I'm done.
Alright, we got two more people left.
Just double checking. All right, I'm done.
Alright, we have one
I
more
think I'm
person.
done.
Alright, awesome. Okay. Let's everyone just do this right. So Ben, tell us.
Sure. So for he will honor the prophet, I have Naphtile and Piprothetes, or actually should be, yeah, and Piprothetes.
So
then,
Naf is the imperfect.
right. So it's
With the exact same letters,
Anna.
just different order.
Oh, and did I switch that Naphtile? Okay,
Yep.
for future. Okay,
Okay.
Naphtile and Piprothetes, and then
Can we do?
Naphtile.
Can you think of any other form?
Not off the top of my head. I mean, maybe if we get rid of the use pre-nominal form,
Yes.
Naphtile, and then Tai.
We did it here. Be Taye.
Headed above Taye.
Oh yeah, sorry, Tayo. Sorry.
Tayo.
Tayo with them.
Just
I'm
simple.
gonna check up here.
for all.
I don't know. I thought it was Tayo.
I think it's Taye for
Taye.
pre-pronoun form.
Taye. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, it's an epsilon. Okay, and then sorry guys, and then just directly P Prothetes.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
In that
And
case,
then, yeah. Okay,
do we want to fix it in the earlier table?
It is fixed, no?
Because for the man, it has Aftayo Pieromi.
Oh, you're right.
Oh yeah, good call. Yep, do that.
Sweet, thank you. Okay, so yeah, future can take the pre-pronoun form. Okay, next one.
And then for he honors prophets is Phtaio prophetes.
So probably in Coptic, indefinite does take an indefinite article.
Okay, so then it would be hen.
Han.
That'll be Sahidic.
Han. Okay, dialect.
Yes.
Dial han prophetes. Okay.
And then is this full form or which form?
This is this would be the Aptaya han because it's that's pre-nominal, and then the other one would be
So no, so present doesn't take a pre-pronominal form. It only takes, according to the rule, only full form can be used for simple present.
okay. So we'd have we'd have Aptayo.
Yes.
Okay.
Daya. N.
And do we need
Yeah.
N?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. A direct object markers.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Next we have David. The next two.
He honored prophets of Tayo Han Propetes. And then I'm gonna ask a question for the pronominal form. I have of Tai Han Propetes. Does the indefinite, can the indefinite be used in the pronominal form?
Yeah. But also your full form is missing. Missing what makes it a full form. What is the difference between full form and pre-nominal form? The main difference, besides the change in wording. It's the direct object indicator.
Oh, yeah, I got rid of that.
This is not it. This is
Oops, I'm fat fingering it right now.
sweet. Thank you. All right, next one.
He will honor prophets. Oh, interesting. I swear there's I must have read it. I'll fix this, but this would be Finatayo and Han Propetes.
Okay.
It's fixed a lot. And then Finatai Han Propetes.
Sweet. Thank you. And you said you will fix them. Okay. Let's do the last one quickly because I need to run, but I'm sure it's going to be fast.
Yeah. So he desires the prophet, whether you want to use wash or may. I put both forms. So may be prophetis or wash be prophetis. And then wash is the pre-nominal form of a wash. And then normally, according to the rules, you couldn't do this, but wash is a verb that is an exception. So you can't say washif or wash be prophetis, or then it's still correct.
Okay.
I guess that was so common.
But you can still say wash MP prophecies. Like you can still use the fuller forms, right?
Correct. Yeah. I
Okay.
can put that right real quick while I'm reading the next one. Then H, he desired the prophet of may be prophetis or of wash be prophetis. Of wash wouldn't have a problem because it's the past tense, so you can do this no matter what the verb is.
What do you mean? You can still use the full form, right? Wash M, of wash M.
Yeah,
okay.
But since it's past tense, like it's not. You don't need to do the rule for past tense. So like,
it already works. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Building on what he said, future can take both forms. So wash or wish. Here we only have the MP, and here we have the P. We have wash MP and then wish P.
yeah, I think for Bohairic it's wash with an alpha instead of an epsilon.
Say that again.
For Fnawesh, I think for Bohairic it's a Fnawash with a alpha. I think.
Let's check quickly. Okay. Let's say desire. Wash. Yeah, we have wish, so it's wish. And there's also wash, so it actually works both ways.
Oh, okay.
NC wash and NC wish. Okay, I am going to go. Thank you guys. That was awesome. We'll start a new lesson next week. Bye.
All right. See y'all.
Bye, thanks.